Hey beautiful, welcome to Naturally Empowered Living, your safe space to guiding you on your unapologetic self-awakening journey. This is your weekly sanctuary for waking up from autopilot and transforming the way you approach life through the power of meditation, energetics, and root cause therapy. It is my mission to help you heal unprocessed emotions and release stuck energies by alchemizing your struggle cycles into opportunities for deep self-love, awareness, trust, and connection, to return to your innate essence of being, stepping back into your energy of alignment. Because here, we honor all parts of ourselves, the messy and the magic, the shadows and the light, embodying all parts that make you, you. So if you are ready to get to the root of cultivating real change, get cozy, grab your journal and maybe favorite crystals, and let's discover our power within together. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Naturally Empowered Living podcast. This is your host, guide, and mentor in all things emotions, energetics, and self-awakening, Jenna Smith. And today, this is going to be a little shorty. This is going to be a shorty, kind of an impromptu episode that I have made a decision to take a break. Not for long, but just to take a month off of this podcast. And this episode is going to be the why behind it. And not solely to share the why behind why I'm, taking a break from the podcast, but also to open a door for your own curiosity or your own opening into, hey, that makes sense. Or just to kind of reflect within your own personal life, because on the show, like whenever I share a personal story or a personal experience of my own, or even other people that I work with or friends or any type of story that I share, it's always to bring light and to shine light onto what is best for your highest good? What can resonate with you? And what message do you need to take away from this? And that I can't answer. That is where your own discernment, your own hey, I say this too, you take what resonates and release what doesn't. So I share this to helpfully broaden, also just to bring insight into anything going on within your life that possibly is that makes a lot of sense. And maybe I could, see this differently or take a different approach or whatever this might be. So also what this episode we're going to talk about is to what you guys can do. This, dear listeners, I'm so thankful for. I can't just leave you. I can't just leave you hanging for a month and be expecting to come back September 8th. Ouch. I just hit my elbow on my desk. Yeah, I talk with my hands a lot. But we will be back airing again September 8th. So what you can do from now until then, this month span, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, is I'm going to share with you categorically, if that's even a word, categories between different types of episodes that we've had on the show for you to possibly go listen back to. Or if you're new to this show, hey, if you want an episode that is sharing a specific meditation, or hey, you want nervous system support or support in, connecting with your intuition, or you want client testimonial episodes, we're going to lay all of that out on today's episode. So I'm so excited, so thankful, and just honored to always be here. And I always just know that you are always in my mind to help support you, guide you, and just mentor you and provide for you for your highest good and what possibly I feel, can best support that. So let's jump in. Let's jump into today's episode. I read, it was, I think, an Instagram post actually, but it was an excerpt from a podcast that Gabor Mate was on. And it was just one of those signs to where I was going back and forth because my family and I go on a road trip during the summer every year. And in the past, I have always worked throughout it. And this has brought a lot of self-reflection. Obviously, why I'm sharing with you the why behind it, because I have not taken time off of work since my oldest has been born. And wherever you are in the world, in the States, you can get a term of maternity leave, let's say. And it depends where you work, what you do. And I know that that's different all across the globe, right? However, being a self-employed, a business owner, you technically, you could take time off anytime you need, but we were never in a position financially to take time off in that, term of capacity. And now obviously my oldest is almost 7, and we're in a different position financially, but I want to more so note on the fact that we are in a different space mentally, energetically, emotionally, and perceptions have changed within our life, within our household. And my son just told me today, Mom, money isn't everything. And I'm like, you are 1000% correct. Like, we really focus on the presence, the connection, the learnings, right? The experiences within our lives. And as I know, there's always that balancing act of, we have to quote unquote make money to live, and you need to earn an income. And as I support that, and I am 100% aware of that, there's also that point to where I've came to this realization of, once we do let go from almost that control, or like that grasping for that control, we fall into our alignment easier. And 2, what is the importance of life? What is truly most important? And this is what we're going to kind of get into today, because I just shared that very surface level. So we're going to kind of dive into those 2, factors right now, because I listened to or read a little excerpt from a podcast that Gabor Mate was on, and he quoted, like, this was the whole excerpt of, like the little Instagram reel where they share like a minute, and then you're like, go listen to this podcast. So, and I was like hooked, because I was like, that is exactly, it was like that sign that I needed, because I was kind of on that teeter of, do I take time off this year, or do I keep on like the momentum, or like, I don't want to let my listeners, my clients down. Granted, like, we obviously have been on a plan to, like, they've been very well aware. It's not like I'm just going off the face of the earth for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But it was like, okay, I'm trying to plan ahead, let's say. So that was kind of like the business owner hat I had on. Like, how can I plan ahead in terms of doing what's best for me and my family, but also supporting my business also, and all of, those souls and hearts that are involved there. So when I saw this podcast excerpt, I was like, this was meant for me. So it quoted, he said, if I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters, what truly matters. And what matters is what you were just telling me last night about every summer. You take a bunch of time away from your podcast and you just spend that time enjoying with your kids and your wife and your family. And I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And that little excerpt brought me to tears, because I was like, that is that push and pull. You don't have to be a business owner. It's just that push and pull from, the work that you feel that you have to provide for your family. And then, okay, now, like, I want to be present and I want to live my life and enjoy my family. So it was like that push and pull. And that comment, that excerpt just brought me to tears, because that was exactly where I was. And the reason that I share with you this behind the scenes is, of course, I'm going to have this time with my family, this time away, this time off. But also it's helping me, again, stay connected to what my truth is, to step out of that monotony, that normal routine with what, my work. A podcast airs every week. Well, the behind the scenes is I obviously have to record, I have to edit, I have to schedule, I have to do all these things. And for me to be able to step out of that box of that normal routine, I'm able to then connect with, what is the evolution of this business? What is the evolution of my life? What is the evolution within, am I... That reflection time, I could say. So that behind the scenes growth and expansion that will happen during this time off, because I'm staying connected to the present moment, because I'm going to have that time to possibly meditate, to journal, to just be, to spend that time with my family, with those that I love most. And it really was just like that confirmation, not even permission, because I had the permission for myself, but it was like that confirmation, like, thank you for that sign. And ironically, something else I actually shared to my stories recently, but it was around that same time frame that I listened to that excerpt from Gabor Mate. There was a post that I saw, and it really just hit very deeply to me. The quote was, "Life is strange. You arrive with nothing, spend your whole life chasing everything, and you still leave with nothing. make sure your soul gains more than your hands. And it's along those same lines of, we get so caught in the monotony. We get so caught in just the hustle and the grind. I do not like using those words, but we get so caught in the go, go, go mentality of society to where sometimes we get kind of wrapped up in it to where we forget to pause and to stop and possibly reflect or course correct or really connect with what does matter. Not that we're not connecting with what matters while we're go, 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 but to really make that connection again to what are my priorities? What does light me up? And I'm not sharing any of this to make you feel bad, like that you're working so hard and that you can't stop because you have to provide for your family, or like we have so many different scenarios. There's so many different roles and lives and experiences and seasons within our lives to where I just shared, it's taken me 7 years to come to this point to actually take time off. And it's not to trigger you in any way, because I understand that we do have seasons to where we're not in that position to take time off, possibly. But this is to open, that conversation, that reflection, that question for yourself to ask, what are my priorities? What does truly matter to me? What is bringing me joy, or what isn't bringing me joy? Because we get so caught in this hamster wheel and meeting the external expectations, and it becomes so easy to get caught in that monotony of it all. And again, like I put myself in the position, like I will always be transparent. Like I was caught in that monotony. And I just had a conversation with my husband the other night. I was literally sobbing to him. Side note, like crying has been my biggest form of release because I did not cry for years. And I've found that like crying has been my biggest form of release and processing because I did suppress that form of expression for so long. And I was sobbing. I'm not saying crying. I was sobbing to him. And I was telling him, I'm like, I don't feel fun. I feel like I'm always on edge. I'm always on this swivel, taking care of everything, everyone else. I'm pivoting. I'm going out of my way. I said, I see this. I'm aware of it. However, I try my best. I do my best. And I'm acknowledging that I am at a threshold and I have needs too. And as I said that, it was like this biggest exhale. And I feel so often and so easily we get caught in like this, I feel silly sharing this, or I know that my significant other or my spouse works so hard too, so why should it matter, what I'm struggling with? But we all have needs. We all have needs, and we all come back to expressing in a different way, or possibly, nothing is too silly to share with a safe space, right? And I realized that I had needs that were not getting met, and I was so heightened by the aftermath and the compoundedness of that, right? So what did I do? I sat down after I had that conversation with my husband. I told him, I said, I don't need advice. I just need someone to hold me right now. I'm going to start crying, but I just needed to have that safe space to release. And I sounded silly. I sounded crazy. I was so thankful. I was so grateful for everything, that we had within our life or that we're building within our life. And it was just, I needed that space and that container. And so often, once you have that safe space to express what your body is needing, that mind-body connection, you're making space for the clarity. So after that, it was like these floodgates opened. Jenna, make a joy list. Jenna, rewrite your priority list. Not an expectation or what I thought my priorities should be, rather what my priorities are to me in this season. And I don't share mine. I'm not going to share these, with you because this is your journey to take. But what I will say, that any overstimulating, go, 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 do thing has not been on my priority list. It was, and it is, I should say, it is the love, the connection, the joy, the ease, the surrender, the letting go, letting be things. So with this, all 15 minutes of, hi, my why, my family and I are going on a vacation for a few weeks to round out the summer. We've done this for the last few years. And before we had kids, my husband did this. We took a couple years off, as they were growing and all the things until we felt, comfortable to go out, for a few weeks of being away from home and all those things. And as I'm not going to be unrealistic in saying I won't be on my phone at all, I am just releasing the expectations of the shoulds and allowing the ease and flow of enjoying myself, my presence, my children, my husband, and our time together. That is my only priority. So, whether you are a new listener here, thank you so much for finding this space in Naturally Empowered Living. You will always find a transparent voice behind the mic. Or if you are a lifelong listener, I have pulled together some of the most loved episodes from Naturally Empowered Living to support your healing, your awakening, your evolution, while I'll take this next month off. So I categorized some episodes based on energetics and nervous system support, emotional healing and inner child work, self-awakening, identity and soul alignment, meditation and integration tools, and root cause therapy client testimonial episodes. So grab a pen and paper, jot down the episode numbers that resonate as I rattle these off for you, or you could just grab the summaries in the show notes that I will also link in the show notes below. So first and foremost, let's jump into energetics and nervous system support. So these episodes are going to help you understand your body's cues, to help clear that energetic overload, to rebuild that safety from within. Those episodes to listen to are episode 44, why the I need and the I should mentality pushes you further away from your desires and how to break free from that mindset. Episode 73, Mindfulness Beyond the Buzz, 4 ways to learn your energy of alignment to feel inner peace and harmony. Episode 76, Navigating the Depths of Your Intuition, 3 ways to master your inner compass for true alignment. Episode 101, Finding Alignment Through Instinctive Meditation, a journey to self-healing. Episode 132, An Energetic and Somatic Approach to Rewire Your Nervous System, Breaking Down Triggers, Coping Mechanisms, and Emotional Healing. Episode 133, Self-Love Beyond the Buzzword, What It Really Means to Honor Yourself. Next category, Emotional Healing and Inner Child Work. This is to deepen your awareness around emotional suppression, unmet needs, and the roots of dysregulation. So episode 35 is, Are You Overwhelmed by Constant Stress, Expectations, and Challenging Behaviors? Practical tips and soul-searching journal prompts to navigate the pivots with purpose. Episode 41, Sick of Constantly Doing Your Life Work Only to Find Yourself Chasing Those Proverbial Carrots. 4 Truths About Happiness, Expectations, and Healing. Episode 45, Do you feel bitter, resentful, or angry towards a negative relationship? Learn how to embrace both blessings and lessons to grow through relationships. Episode 106, Beyond Toxic Positivity, Embracing the Messy and the Magic on Your Self-Love Journey. Episode 109, Beyond the Surface, How Energetics, Root Cause Therapy, and Instinctive Meditation Transform Self-Healing. Next category, Awakening, Identity, and Soul Alignment. This is for those in-between seasons when you're unraveling old identities, awakening to your truth, being confused about what's going on, returning home to the real you, the you that's always been. These episodes help you walk through the signs, the shifts, and just really embracing your soul's rememberings. So episode 36, Unleashing Your Intuitive Power, Breaking the Silence, Finding Inner Peace, and Mastering Mental Strength Using the Balanced Mom Method Formula. Now, the Balanced Mom Method used to be the branding, the business, behind Naturally Empowered Living. I mean, I still have the same messages, the same everything. It's just different verbiage, different usage. We don't use the same acronyms, but it's all around just based off of my experiences, my learnings, my teachings, my education. We have just kind of rebranded a little bit, but the Balanced Mom Method is still just as powerful. Episode 43, 4 tangible ways to find inner peace by letting go of perfectionism, self-criticism, and obsessive thinking. Episode 111, Understanding Trapped Energies, How Emotions Shape Your Reality and the Path to Self-Healing. That was probably one of the most well listened to and like well receptive episodes. As following is this next episode, also episode 112, Finding Freedom from Emotional Triggers, How Root Cause Analysis and the 5 Whys Can Transform Your Emotional Well-Being. Episode 121, What Does Energetic Alignment Really Feel Like and How to Get There? And gosh, if you have, are you new to the show or just listen every week? Episode 146 and episode 147, just a few weeks ago, Spiritual Awakening 101, Part 1 and 2, very well received episodes as well. Next category, meditation, integration, and tools. So this is for grounding, reflective practices to help you feel, to integrate, and to embody your healing. So episode 94 is a grounding meditation. Embody your inner peace, sovereignty, and connection. That is an actual meditation episode. Episode 101 is Finding Alignment Through Instinctive Meditation, so a journey to self-healing. Episode 114, Choosing Happiness During the Holidays. So this is a 5-minute practice to bring you joy amidst the chaos. Yes, I scheduled it during a holiday season, but it's a 5-minute practice to bring you joy amidst any chaos. Episode 124 is a cord-cutting meditation with color visualization, another very high listened to and well-received episode. This is releasing energy that is not your own, calling back your power, and aligning your energy. And episode 139, another meditation episode. This is inner child healing, a guided journey for comfort, clarity, and connection to connect with your inner child. And lastly, last category is root cause therapy, education, and actual client testimonies. So this is for listeners that are curious about the services that I provide, really hearing conversations between me and clients that I've worked with, and how this can incorporate, the work that we can do together, including what root cause therapy is, how it can change your life and transform your story too. So episode 125 is Life-Changing Healing, a root cause therapy testimonial and transformation. Episode 134 is Healing Through Root Cause Therapy, another client testimonial, really talking about emotional release and inner alignment. Episode 141 is not a one-on-one client testimonial. This is actually a workshop that I did within my root cause therapy. We use a program or a software called Practice Better. So it was a masterclass that I recorded that was about the hidden weight of shame. So understanding shame and emotional healing through the scale of consciousness and root cause therapy lens. So this is a masterclass that I created for my clients, and I recorded a podcast episode about it just because it was just so beneficial. And episode 145 is The Power of Self-Trust, a root cause therapy healing journey with another client. So those are, we've had 100, this is episode 149. So there's been so many episodes, so many powerful episodes. I just want you to connect with what triggered or like what sparked, like, ooh, I want to listen to that, or I should listen to that again. So anything, if you re-listen to this episode or just check the show notes and whatever titles speak out to you, that is what you should go with. So as always, I'm so grateful, so grateful to walk this journey with you. I hope that you could take this invitation to just simply tune in, not just to the podcast and to stay quote unquote up to date, but also to tune in with yourself, to feel what needs to be felt, to listen to what is, stirring inside you, to use this as a chance for reflection for yourself. Like allow these episodes to hold space for yourself, to honor your slowing down, to honor your own clarity. And no, I'll be back soon. We'll be back soon. I'm still here, right? And I can't wait to come back to this podcast, to the show, to you. But for now, I'm going to be offline, present with my people. And I hope in whatever way that it is available to you that you get to do the same. So I'm sending you so much love. As my daughter says, I love you so much. I love you so. Until next week, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and be unapologetic in who you are. I'm sending my love and so much light.
Did you find this episode free or empowering? Please read my review. Tickle, boop.
Thank you for spending this sacred time with me on Naturally Empowered Living. If this episode brought you closer to stepping into your energy of alignment, I'd love for you to leave a written review and share how this show has supported your journey. Your feedback truly lights me up and helps others find the space of transformation. And sharing it with someone who might need it spreads the ripple of healing even further. Be sure to check the show notes for ways to connect with me and explore personalized healing sessions and mentorships to deepen your self-awakening journey. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do.